Hello everybody, welcome back to Venus in Virtue. Today I wanted to do a VR to the hashtag Tarot Anti-Bucket List by Strength Reversed. I've seen a couple of the other VRs to this tag, and basically it's talking about the goals that we do not have relating to tarot in our practice for the upcoming year. So it was really interesting to think about what sort of things am I not interested in doing, or what, is not a goal of mine. So I have my list over here. I'm just going to kind of go in no particular order. And I figured while I'm going through my list, I would also just kind of flip through some decks. That way there's something to watch as well. So first up, I will be flipping through the Pharaoh 19th century playing cards, but the first thing on my list is the systems that I'm not interested in studying or learning about the next year. So I'm not interested in learning Lenormand. I am on the fence about Runes and Marseille. Those two systems were some of my goals to learn this year, 2022. However, I don't know. I'm just not gonna set those goals either way. I know for a fact I'm not interested in learning Lenormand, but as far as any other systems, I'm not going to say one way or the other, like, yes, that is a goal to study it, or no, it is not. I do want to, and I'm in the process of studying playing cards, so that is a goal I do have, but as far as the ones that I'm not interested in, right now it's just Lenormand, and then if I do decide to pick up Marseille and Runes again, I will, but I'm not going to set that as a firm goal for myself. The next thing on my list is I'm not interested in reading tarot as a profession. I definitely did consider it when I did have the Etsy shop open, and it's something I do enjoy doing. I enjoy reading for other people, but I want it to remain that. I want it to be something that brings me joy. I don't want to have to worry about deadlines or listings or, this, that, and the other. I just want it to remain joyful. So I do plan on doing a lot more like general readings on like my Instagram. I really do enjoy those when I do them. So, that might be a goal, but as far as reading for others as a side gig or as a profession, that's not on my list for the next year. The next two are relating to this deck. This is the Thoth. I have taken off all the borders. This is the large US Games version. But my first not goal is I'm not interested in studying Kabbalah. That is something that I feel it's just not an interest of this time. I don't know, I'm still sort of processing my feelings about that and how it has been integrated into tarot. So I'm not going to say, anything like confirming any of my feelings at this time, because I still don't really know. It's still something I'm going to look at and sort of process how I feel, but it's not a goal of mine to study it as a layer to add to my tarot readings. I think the Thoth Tarot has a lot of other layers to it, as I've mentioned in a couple other videos. So I'm really more interested in studying those than Kabbalah. And the next not goal that I have for Thoth is I don't ever want to become an expert in the Thoth. I don't ever see myself perfecting my studies of this deck. It is something that I'm okay sort of being a forever student. And this is one that I have found a book that I really, really love using alongside this deck. Let me go ahead and get that. And that is Mirror of the Soul. I love, love, love this book. You can see how much I've like highlighted it. I've even written, like I penciled in notes about certain cards. I really love using this book alongside this deck, so I don't ever want to set the goal for myself to not, not like need a book. Because there are some decks where I'm like, I do want to study it so that way I'm not dependent on a book to read with it. But with this deck, there's so much here that I don't ever see myself not needing some sort of resource, and that's okay. You know, it's okay to not perfect a system, or it's okay to need a book or to want to read a guidebook alongside a deck. And this is definitely one that after discovering Mirror of the Soul, I just love this book so much. And you know, you can use this with decks besides the Thoth. You don't need to use this solely for the Thoth Tarot, but yeah, so it is not a goal of mine to perfect or become an expert in the Thoth. I'm happy being a forever student. Okay, so I talked about those two, So I really only have one more goal. So I guess I'll flip through this one, because why not? It's right here. This is my John Bauer. I've also modified this one and restructured it. But my last non-goal for this video is I'm not setting the goal for myself to do daily readings. I have found, especially over the last year, that when I feel like I must do a tarot reading every day, it becomes a chore, and I'm not using my intuition as much. So I am setting the goal to just read and pull cards when I feel like it, when I have a question, or when I just want to play with some cards. I'm not going to force myself to do a reading every day. It, for me, just seems to sort of lessen the experience for me. So I'm not going to. I will do tarot readings when I feel called to, and usually when I feel called to is when I'm looking for those, you know, answers to things, and so that will really help me stretch my intuition and strengthen those intuitive muscles per se to know what the cards are saying. Because if when I read every day, it just seems less magical. And again, anything that I mention in this video, I don't want you to think that you shouldn't do it or that I dislike people who do these things. Definitely not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying I am sort of still in the process of figuring out what works for me in my practice. So if you are someone who enjoys doing daily readings, keep doing it, because if it brings you joy, that's all that matters. Or if you study those other systems that I mentioned, go for it. I think there's so many amazing forms of divination that can be shared. And if you read professionally, more power to you. I love my job and I love tarot, and I don't want to have those two things intermingle at this time. But I have respect for tarot readers, and I love getting readings from professional tarot readers. So it is, you know, not to say anything that if these are your goals. So if you have done a VR to Strength Reversed with your tarot anti-bucket list, let me know down below. Or if you don't have a video and just want to chat about it, feel free to leave a comment. I would love to see what things you guys are not necessarily interested in doing the next year. I think it's something that, you know, people don't really talk about for whatever reason. I think sometimes people are a little afraid of stepping on toes, but it's okay to talk about the things that don't work for you or the things you're not interested in. So I thought this was a really interesting tag. So yeah, let me know down below if you have done it. Yeah, I think that's all I have for you guys today. So before you go, please remember, you matter, you are loved, and you can make a difference. Bye, everyone.